everyone, this is Lisa from Nohproblem Consulting Agency. I've been getting a lot of inquiries regarding LMIA, and basically what LMIA is what you need to be able to work in Canada legally. In return, that experience that you accumulate while your own LMIA permit you can use to apply for your PR. But the thing is, if you don't have legit valid work permit, it would never count for the ranking score for express entry. So those are the things you must know if you want to apply for your PR in the near future. Lots of employers themselves doesn't even know what that is and whether or not they are eligible to be applying for their LMIA. There are three types of LMIA, and one is for LMIA for low wage, another one is for the high wage, and then the last one, this is the one we want to have. The last one is for LMIA for PR. So there are technically three different types of LMIA, but one you really want to have is one for LMIA for PR. With that LMIA PR, you can have your 2-year work permit maximum. But without it, without PR LMIA, if you're just only applying for low wage stream or high wage stream, chances are very likely that you're only going to get 1 year work permit. And then it's going to cost you the same amount of money for the processing fee, also the longer amount of time to get it processed. So now we want to know how and why, to whom you can get the LMIA for PR. So one thing that you might want to ask to your employer before approaching PR LMIA application is to see whether or not they have been operating for more than 1 year. If employer wants to support you for LMIA for PR. However, you found a perfect employer, but they have less than 1 year, then you can still apply for your LMIA. But in this case, we will be applying for either one, LMIA for low wage permit, or second, LMIA for high wage permit. But we don't have to worry about it because we will be laser focused on the LMIA for PR, right? So one, you kind of want to know if that operation has been operating more than 1 year, okay? And then the second, what type of business that has to be? Have to be incorporated or sole proprietorship or limited, even a partnership. Any type of business can apply for LMIA. But most of the time, when you need a new worker, it's very likely that you are incorporated. In that way, it's easy for you to convince the immigration officer or Service Canada that you're really in need of labor. But if you're a sole proprietorship and then your income or your company income is not big enough to support that foreign worker, then no, because it makes no sense, right? So you must show them you've been making enough money to support that foreign worker, temporary foreign worker, full-time for the duration of the your job contract you're making with that person. So second thing you might want to consider, or you might want to know before you jump into the job contract with that employer, whether or not they have enough or they have a good finance for the past couple of years or even the year before. There are tons of other ways just to show the Service Canada personnel that they have other means of meeting or satisfying the financial requirements. If you're an employer out there watching my video and thinking that, oh, I made a horrible income last year and there's no way we can apply for our temporary foreign worker, that is not true. There are other ways to do so. It's just more costly and then more, let's just say, complicated. If you're an employer, you still can apply for your temporary foreign worker program. If my finance is not good, that employer still can support me. Yes, there are other ways of doing so. And then the last one I've been getting lately, the PMP. if your employees are eligible to support you for your LMIA for PR, it doesn't mean that that employee is eligible eligible to support you for your provincial nominee program. It's two completely different story, and there's two different requirements. So if you want to know what are the requirements for the PNP, you might want to consult with the consultants for each province, or to me, because each province has their own provincial nominee program requirements. But what I'm trying to say here, once you get your LMIA, you work for 1 year, then you will be able to apply for your express entry no matter what, because you have just met your minimum requirements to apply for your express entry. So if you want to reduce the time that you're going to waste in Canada, and if you want to just start working your ass off, apply for your PR straight after, like 1 year after you started your job, LMIAs might be the way to go. One thing, if you didn't get off well with your employer and along the way you just realized that person is not for me and you decided to quit, or that employer wants to get rid of you, then you have to apply for another LMIA with another employer. That's a tricky one. One thing for sure you need to know is that if that employer is a good person. But there's no such a thing as a good or bad person as there is an employer and employee relationship, correct? So that's why I normally recommend people to come to Canada with their study permit or co-op permits, or you can actually work there as a full-time and experience what that employer is going to be like. And then if you do think that you two are a perfect match, then you can go with LMIA. Or if you want to find your employer before you coming to Canada, so basically all the interview questions, assessment, screening will happen online, and you don't know, because you never know until you actually get to work with that person whether or not you are going to be working well together, or that employer turns out to be a psychopath, or is it the other way around, that employee turns out to be a psychopath. So that's why we're here. We're here to figure that out for you. And most of the time, if you have any question about that operation or facility you're going to be working for, if you have an LMIA question, it's really hard for you to approach to them and go ahead and say, hey, by the way, how much money did you make last year? That's none of employer would like that. So instead, if you find your employer and they did say they want to support you so that you can work for them for 2 years, then you contact us. Then we will be contacting employer just to avoid those awkward situations. I hope this makes sense to you, and then we're not charging you money for doing that. So maybe if you want to know whether or not that employer, my angel of employer who is going to help you to come to Canada, is suitable for LMIA support, or the other way around, if you're an employer and then you want to know if that person is okay, then I'm here for you. Please visit www.nohproblem.com looking for Lisa, the RCIC, and I'll be there, and I'll be working my hours to make sure that you'll get the time of opportunity in Canada. So I hope you have a wonderful day today, and I will hope to talk to you soon. Okay, bye!